Thank you, Megan. Welcome to the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship. This is a place where many paths meet, where we honor the rich tapestry of spiritual traditions, and where we are all welcome to responsibly explore their own connection to the sacred. Whether you are here to seek, to remember, or simply to be present, we are glad you've joined us. Welcome. I am Reverend Leslie Runnels, and I use she, her pronouns, joined on the chancel with Sarah Grenier, who is our religious education coordinator, and Megan Smith on piano. We have Ken and Barb making all the technical magic happen today, and song leading is Maria Lundgren. Thank you all for chiming in and helping out. If you are visiting us for the first or second time today, would you raise your hands that we may welcome you? Ah, beautiful. All right. And if you're comfortable with it, we'll bring around the microphone and you can introduce yourself. And if you don't want to, that's fine as well. Is this on? Can y'all hear me okay? Okay. Can't tell me in the front row, Adam. Well, actually, we need you to use the microphone because it feeds to Zoom. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
All right. I'm Paul Hurley. I've been living here in Carteret County for 15 years. So thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Hi, daughter.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Do you want to do it? Okay, here, can you pass that?
Hi, my name is Mary, and this is my husband, John. We've recently moved here to North Carolina from New Jersey, and we're happy to be here today. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And Jersey, you did not need to bring your snow with you. All right, and we'll find out who's on Zoom. We'll bring the mic over there.
Okay, on Zoom this morning we have Cindy Smith, Dan Phillips, Happy Eubank, Karen Baggett, Karen Reddy, Kay and Darrell Lynch, Lauren Donkey, and Sally Davis.
Oh, beautiful. We can wave to everybody on Zoom. Welcome. We do have a couple of announcements today. So I'm from New Orleans, and I'm not going to experience the season of Mardi Gras without Mardi Gras. It's going to happen. So we are going to have, the children are going to have a float. They're going to make a little float, and they are going to be called the Crew for Change, right? KWREWE, Crew for Change. And they're going to come around the month of February, right? And they're going to come around, and you are going to throw your change into their float, whatever thing it is that we build for this purpose. So be sure to keep your change in your car or in the dish by your front door and bring it with you. And bills are changed too, right? Okay? Even a check can be changed. All right? So we're going to be doing that. That's going to be fun and exciting. And then in the social hall, we have some big white pieces of paper that one of them lists the things that we're currently doing, and one of them says, here's some ideas we're thinking about, and another one is a little bit blank, and it's for you to fill in ideas that you want to put in there. And then there's some stars, little sticker stars, and you get 3 stars for each page, okay? And you vote on which ones you want to see happen, okay? And that's where we're going to put our organizing energy into making those starry things happen, okay? And now is the time where you get to turn and greet one another and say good morning.
story time. They're so lively.
Our invocation comes from the Reverend Scott Taylor. We gather as a house of stories, as we learn of those who have gone before. The way in front of us becomes clearer, as we weave together our individual tales into a common story. Our loneliness lessens, and the ever-present web of our oneness is revealed. As we listen deeply to each other's difficult stories with tenderness and trust, we descend into the longings and learnings, hopes and fears of the humanity we share. Beneath the wells from which we drink, there is a deeper well that feeds them all. Come, let us tell each other's tales of our thirst. Let us drink from the stories that sustain us all. And now let us speak these words together as one. Come, let us worship together. And Parker, if you will come up and light our chalice. We light our chalice with these words. For the stories that long to be told and retold. For the stories that long to be imagined and reimagined. For the stories that long to be envisioned and celebrated. We kindle this chalice. May its flame bright bring the light of different truths, different paths, and different voices, all needed to cultivate a transformative story of justice, love, and beauty. We also light our peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. And now please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dreams and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to the truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to love.
Each week we make some space and time to be human and celebrate our joys and grieve our sorrows together. If you wish to share a personal joy or sorrow, In the corner over there, we have some pieces of paper that you can write it on, and I will read it as part of the ritual. The ritual is to pick a stone and then place the stone into the water, or there's also shells and bells and the wonderful things from this community. So you can line up along this aisle and along that aisle. We invite you to this ritual. Today there is a memorial for Larry's friend John, who took his life. May you and his family and friends find peace. Lori says, thank you for all the wonderful welcome gifts, especially the Earth Prayers book. Beautiful. That come from the membership team. Safe travels for Hero and other visitors. May we continue to welcome the stranger in our hearts and country. This is from John. Now that I've become the chief cook and bottle washer, I think back to the cooking my mother did for us kids so many years ago. How now I wish I could thank her as I should have for all she did. I cooked for I cooked for 2, Mom cooked for 7. So remember to thank the people who feed you. Here's 2 joys from Kim Robertson. A friend's breast cancer surgery was successful, fantastic, and a nephew's surgery went well as well. Wonderful. We have some community concerns to add. You can place 2 stones. Vern Renches passed peacefully on Monday, January 20th at 101 years old. Yeah. She was surrounded by family and was a beloved member of this church for over 30 years. She treasured her Unitarian family greatly and played harp at some of the worship services. She lived a long life and will be missed by those held dear. And the other stone is for the families who are being separated as ICE patrols and targets Latino communities. May the families receive mercy. May they be safe, and may they stay together. This community witnesses your joys and your concerns, even the ones not spoken aloud or the ones that are slowly forming in your heart. This water, this chalice now holds sacred water as our joys and sorrows are held by this family community. May you know love, may you know peace, and may you be safe. Okay, so things look a little different up here. Surprise. Today's worship story is all about story and song. Unitarian Universalists believe in honoring the lived experiences of all people. Stories help us articulate our diverse perspectives, help us foster empathy and understanding, and celebrate human dignity. Sharing our stories helps us to explore meaning and deepen our understanding of the world. And sometimes songs include story, and sometimes the instrumental versions take you into some unspoken story, a story experienced without any words. Music transcends words and worlds, connecting people emotionally and spiritually. Musicians create shared experiences that bring communities together and amplify feelings of hope, resilience, and joy. And then we know we are not alone. We celebrate our shared journey towards justice and compassion through story and song. So today, we're going to share a lot of stories and a lot of songs. Some of these stories or songs you might be hearing for the first time. Others, it might be the second time or the third time or the 40th time. Where do these stories and songs take you today? Where do they need to take you today? But wait, that's not all. We are going to have an interactive art project. The children in a moment will pass out these squares of paper that have some lines drawn on them. And then we're going to pass out some coloring implements, and you are going to color them in. And here's one that has a lot of lines on it, and so you can color a lot in that. Here's one that just has one line. So you can color that as 2 colors, you can color that as 40 colors. You get to do whatever you want. Here's one that's got some wavy lines on it. And here's one that has no lines. Free for all. On the back of them is a number. You don't need to pay attention to the number. You just need to make sure you're coloring on the side that doesn't have the number. Okay? All right, and then you're going to use other ways we can use the hymnal today and our order of worship is to put that on there, and then put your little coloring paste here, so you can color all over it and you won't get anything, colored that isn't supposed to be colored, okay? All right. And who were we inviting up, Sarah, to pass these out? Bella and Hallie. So we have the papers over here. Y'all can come on up. You can take one or two today. You are going to have multiple chances to do this today. Just so you know, you don't have to do it all right now, but you all look like you're pretty much into it. I'm thrilled. Oh, let's make sure Berkeley gets to color too. Yeah. All right, we have some special music for you today. We have invited Hiro Tsukamoto to our congregation last night. He performed for us beautifully. We had a packed house. I think there were 50 or 60 people here. I don't remember, Barb, did you count? 44. Beautiful. And so I welcome you to the stage. And can you give Hiroya a nice welcome?
Thank you.
You have the option of just listening to his song and story, or color your piece of paper while you listen. You're going to have multiple times today to do that, as long as you're done by the offering. Okay? I think that's all. When Hiro finishes his song, the children are going to come through and collect the pieces of paper that are ready. If you're still working on yours, keep it. We're going to collect them up at another time too. And we might have some more that we're going to hand out. Okay, beautiful. Welcome, Hiroya. Thank you.
And I tell stories too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for having me. My name is Hiroya, or you can call me Hiro. And I'd like to share one of my original songs. And I wrote this piece recalling about my feeling when I was a teenager. And I grew up in Japan. And in Japan, in the middle school, we studied world geography throughout the year, 1 year, including North America. And I loved that geography class. And we study about the North American geography, Rocky Mountains, Appalachian Mountains, Great Lakes, and also individual big cities, like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, New York, Los Angeles. And I was just fascinated by the size of the country, and my teacher told me, even Japan is smaller than California. And as a Japanese teenager, I was like, how big is America? And I was looking at the map, and I noticed that there was not much big city in the middle of the country. And one day I found a little town called Durango in Colorado. And I was imagining how the landscape and what kind of people live there. And I was just thinking about these areas. And so this is a piece that I composed called Going to Durango. Basically, my big image of America as a Japanese teenager. Thank you.
What a treat, am I right? All right. Camera's trying to find me. Come on. Okay, so now we are going to invite the children to pick up the squares that are ready. If there's any squares that aren't done yet, hold those out, and anybody who wants to do more can pick them up. All right? And if you're still working on yours, it's okay. We'll also pick them up at another time. Do you need the color basket to? All right, so the next thing that's going to happen is Sarah and one of the children are going to start working on the project. They're going to take the little pieces that you've colored for them, and they're going to start putting them on this board, gluing them on, and we're going to see a story about us starting to come together. And while that is happening, we are going to listen to the song Resilient from Rising Appalachia.
I trust the movement. I negate the chaos.
Woo. I'm telling you. That's Rising Appalachia, the band that comes from close to this area, right? We're close enough to the Appalachian Mountains. All right, Adam. It's for the kids to do. Hold on. We're going to pull adults up in a minute. It's so true. Thank you for helping and get us started. So, can you see what the picture is? What is it? Abstract art. Abstract art? All right. Anybody see anything? Not yet. All right. We're going to have to do a little more work then. If there's any more squares that are ready, the kids are going to come around and pick those up now. And then Sarah and another child are going to add some more squares to our community project. And we are all right. Looks like we're collecting, still collecting. There's more pieces and squares. One more square behind you, Sarah. All right. And who's coming up with you next? Parker, wonderful. So Sarah's going to show you the trick, okay? And while Parker and Sarah work on putting more of our story together, we're going to hear another story.
Welcome back. And don't forget to ask your grown-up to subscribe for more amazing stories. Voices in the Park by Anthony Brown. First voice. It was time to take Victoria, our pedigree Labrador, and Charles, our son, for a walk. When we arrived at the park, I let Victoria off her lead. Immediately, some scruffy mongrel appeared and started bothering her. I shooed it off. Shoo! But the horrible thing chased her all over the park. I ordered it to go away. But it took no notice of me whatsoever. Sit, I said to Charles. Here, I was just planning what we should have to eat that evening when I saw Charles had disappeared. Oh, dear, where had he gone? Oh, you get some frightful times in the park these days. Charles! 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 I called his name for it seemed like an age. And then I saw him talking to a very rough-looking child. Charles, come here at once, I said. And come here, please, Victoria. We walked home in silence. Second voice. I needed to get out to the house. So me and Smooch took the dog to the park. He loves it there. I wish I had all the energy he's got. I'll settle on a bench and look through the paper for a job. I know it's a waste of time, really, but you've got to have a bit of house, haven't you? And then it was time to go. Smooch cheered me up. She chatted happily to me all the way home. Third voice. I was at home on my own again. It's so boring. great time. I wish I was. Do you want to come on the slide? A voice asked. It was a girl, unfortunately, but I went anyway. She was brilliant on the slide. She went really fast. I was amazed. The two dogs raced round like old friends. The girl took off her coat and swung on a climbing frame. So I did the same. I'm good at climbing trees, so I showed her how to do it. She told me her name was Smudge. A funny name, I know. But she's quite nice. The mollycoddles us talking together. And I had to go home. Maybe Smudge will be there next time. Fourth voice. Dad has been really fed up. So I was pleased when he said we could take Albert to the park. Albert's always in such a hurry to be let off his lead. He went straight up to this lovely dog and sniffed its bum. He always does that. Of course, the other dog didn't mind. But its owner was really angry. The silly twit. I got told he was born. I thought he was a bit of a wink at first, but he's okay. We played on the seesaw and he didn't say much, but later on he was a bit more friendly. We got burst out laughing when we saw Albert having a swim. Then we played on the bandstand and I felt really happy. Charlie picked a flower and gave it to me. Then his mum called him and he had to go. He looked sad. When I got home, I put the flower in some water and made Dad a nice cup of tea.
So that story shows us that we never know what someone else is experiencing. So many experiences in that same story. All right, and do you have one more person you want to invite up to help you? All right, Bella. Those of you who were here last week might remember this idea about stories that I shared from Catherine Weinman. When you hear a story, you listen the first time, you hear the second time, and you feel the third time. When you listen, you become aware, and that's for your head. When you hear the second time, you awaken, and that's for your heart. The third time, when you feel, it becomes a part of you, and that is for your spirit. So 3 times it takes to get to our spirit. And that's how we learn. So we might need to practice a practice of telling our story, whether it's our individual story, the story of our faith, story of justice, more than once, 3 times at least. I also talked about how we as storytellers who are telling our own stories of liberation and grace can beef up our storytelling skills by keeping in mind that 4-part structure. Exposition, that's giving an idea. Rising action, that's what's happening. And then climax, that's that moment when things change. And resolution. Those are the 4 key elements of a story. So maybe one of our young ones might have a story from school or the church or park or the store or something that happened online that they wanted to share with someone else. Maybe someone said something mean to you. So you go to tell your caregiver and you say, hey, this thing happened. That is the exposition of the idea, the situation. And then you tell about the rising action. Like, what happened to you? Did you get mad? Did you get sad? Did you throw things around? And then there's a climax in the story where it changes. Maybe you told that person who was mean to you, sorry, it ran away. Maybe you told that person that was mean to you that what they said can't hurt you because you know that you are beautiful and whole and holy. And when you share your story, whoever you share that story with can back you up, tell you their own story about how that might have happened for them, and then tell you about how they love and care for you. All right, so what is it? It's a family. Story's not complete. We got to work on it a little bit more. All right, do we have another young one who's going to come up and help? Payson and a parent, and then maybe, and then maybe Berkeley can come help too next time. All right. Have fun, Payson. Don't eat the glue. Matthew, you can wait. We'll let them do it, and then we're going to bring y'all up. And oh, I'm so sorry. Don't yell. Good job. All right. So, another story. The inauguration of the new president was last week with festivities and activities and an interfaith worship service. In that worship service, Episcopal Bishop Marianne Edgar Buddy She had a story to tell too, didn't she? She locked eyes with the new U.S. president and made a plea for mercy. And the war over spiritual authority in this country was ignited anew. And I just felt it in here. Bishop Buddy serves as a spiritual leader for 86 Episcopal congregations and 10 Episcopal schools in the District of Columbia, that's D.C., and four Maryland counties. She is the first woman elected to this position. Also, a round of applause for that. Yeah. Huzzah. She is a passionate believer in the gospel of Jesus, and Bishop Buddy is committed to the spiritual growth of congregations and developing new expressions of Christian community. She believes that Jesus calls all who follow him to strive for justice and peace and to respect the dignity of every human being. I'm going to read Bishop Buddy's plea, and I have rewritten it. She wrote it to the president. I've rewritten it as if she was saying it to us. Because while the incoming president surely needs to hear the message from spiritual authority, so do we all. Yeah, that's what I said. Bishop Buddy says, "Let me make one final plea. Millions have put their trust in you, and you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, transgender children in Democratic, Republican, Independent, and in non-voting families, some who fear for their lives. the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shift in hospitals. So many. They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, gurdwaras, and temples. If you want to, Matthew, if y'all want to come up now, you can. She continues, I ask you to have mercy on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger. For most of us were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen. 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 All right, while they continue to add some pieces into this larger story of our community, we're going to go into a moment of silence. And this might be a time when you close your eyes and settle in. And when you open your eyes, you'll see what has changed. And then Megan is going to, and while you have your eyes closed, Megan is going to play us a song. And what story does that song bring for you? What comes up for you? So we'll begin with our 3 deep breaths. So that little dance he just did, they call that his preacher dance. I did not take offense. Oh, Sarah, this is actually you.
Sorry, lots of moving parts this morning. I'm doing my best to keep up. All right, so now we will invite one more child up to help Reverend Leslie. Who will it be? All right, gotta take her. All right. Every month, the Social Justice Committee selects a nonprofit organization to share the plate with UCF. January's Share the Plate will go to Family Promise of Carteret County, a program for families with children who are experiencing homelessness. Please give as generously as you can. If the ushers will come forward. if you will please join me in blessing this offering with hymn number 402. Right, we're getting closer, the last few squares. So how full is our story or picture that we've made? Does anyone know what it is yet? It is a chalice. Have we lost any, Leslie? Oh, we lost one, number 55. And Leslie, do you want to fill in the square that is missing? This is common with this art project, she told me. And this is a way to symbolize the people that aren't with us today. So we're going to fill it in. They're still a part of our story. So may we remember them. Thank you. All right, let us join now our voices in song as we sing number 1007, There's a River Flowing in My Soul.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing, a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my soul.
Oh, it's actually.
All right, please join me in reading our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now, in Español, extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.
All right, it is UCF tradition to join hands and form something along the lines of a circle around the edges of our sanctuary. If you choose to stay in the middle and be surrounded by love, we would love to do that as well. I'm going to bust in here. All right, you put a hand on my shoulder.
You got it.
Hand on my shoulder. Oh, here come our boo-boos. Our little ones. Awesome. We are a circle of an odd shape. Hi, everybody. May the stories we create honor our ancestors, prove worthy of our children and our children's children, and tell of connection and compassion in this present moment. Go now in peace and live into your stories. Amen. Thank you. That was fun.
Yes.
A little hectic, but you know.
We need to frame that, hang it somewhere.
Actually, Sarah was thinking about taking it to Art from the Heart, that big thing.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, see if it'll get in there. And if not, don't worry. Thank you for
All right.
Yeah.